almost all developed countries. This conference is not so much about transfer of technology, it's not so much about official development aid. It is about the global transition towards the green economy. It is about transforming the world economy to a sustainable economy. It is about getting rid of high carbon economy. It is about getting rid of productive methods or consumption patterns which are not sustainable. You have to understand, and of course we also understand, that for developing countries their perspective is different. Let's talk about energy. You mentioned energy, green energy. I saw on your flyers also the Sustainable Energy Initiative for All, which is a very important thing, which we also promote. But they said it has three aspects. Let me turn to this initiative. Maybe I have to shorten my time. This initiative is a very good example for the conflicts you see in the preparation of the conference. You know that the Sustainable Energy for All initiative proposed by the Secretary General has three dimensions. It has three goals, and these goals represent three dimensions. The first one is access. Access to sustainable energy for all till 2030. That is exactly what developing countries are asking for, and which is of course a key to development. Without energy, without access to energy, there is no development. Then the second aspect, the percentage of renewables should be increased to 30% till 2030. That's exactly what we want. That is exactly what the developed countries are looking at. Because for us, we want to turn energy access and energy supply to a more sustainable way, and that can be done if you more refer to renewables. My country, Germany, has a big program on that, but I don't want to go into details here now. I can do this later if you want me to. And the third aspect of this energy initiative is increase the energy intensity, or efficiency, not renewables, but energy efficiency. Maybe also on high carbon economy, on high carbon ways to produce energy. But that is the economic side. So we have the three pillars of sustainable development: the economic one, the social one, and the ecological one. All these three are in the initiative of the Secretary General. Nevertheless, there are a lot of I wouldn't say a lot, but there are some countries down the road which don't like this initiative at all. So probably we will not see an endorsement of this initiative in the outcome document of Rio, because there are countries who say we don't like it. We don't like it because we want to continue to sell our oil. It's that simple. Because we don't like renewables. We have to export our raw materials, which is oil, and we don't like the aspect of having more renewables. Venezuela, Russian Federation. I mean, it's a blame. I don't want to blame and shame now, but let's face it. Let's be frank. That's the way it is. So this is one aspect where we still have a lot of things to do, and here you see also the difficulties we have when it comes to transforming the economy, the world economy, into a greener economy. There's a lot of resistance also by developing countries who are afraid that greening the economy and the concept of green economy might mean new obstacles to trade, might mean new conditions and new conditionalities, where developed countries would say you have to do this and this and this to get loans, and if it's not green enough, you don't get the loan. So this is something we also have to work around, where we make very clear it's not that. But of course, these concerns are there, and we have to face these concerns. May I briefly, because time is really running out, I see you gave me 15 minutes and I'm now almost at 20.
Almost there.
I'm even further. Let me briefly touch on the second main theme of the conference, which is the institutional framework for sustainable development. Maybe a bit bureaucratic, not that out of life perspective, but very important for us, and very important when it comes to greening the economy. For us, for the European Union, there's one major goal when it comes to the institutional framework. That is the creation of a World Environmental Organization. That is the creation of a body in the UN which is the voice for the environment, because that voice is not there now. Of course, you have UNEP, you have the United Nations Environmental Programme, which is a program amongst many others, but that is not really a powerful body. You know how many world organizations there are? About 14 in the world. There's one on tourism, there's of course one on health. You all know about WHO, which is a specialized agency. There's one on intellectual property, the WIPO in Geneva. There's the International Labour Organization. So there are a lot of specialized agencies in the UN, which are high-level agencies which are dealing with certain issues. As I said, health, intellectual property, labor, tourism even. But there's not such organization which is dealing with the environment. And we think creating such an organization, which is on equal footing with these agencies I just mentioned, and which is able to coordinate all the different bodies which are working on the environment now within the UN. We have over 500 multilateral environmental agreements meanwhile, and you can imagine what a circus it is, I might say, to cover all these agreements, particularly for smaller states. Not so much for countries like the US or Germany, but definitely for smaller states. So we need one entity in the UN which is powerful enough to coordinate all environmental issues and to be a prominent voice for the environment. That is why we, and you find in one of the papers here, you find the arguments why the European Union and of course Germany is very much looking into this option and hoping that we can, as one of the deliverables of the conference, achieve a common understanding that the world needs to create a World Environmental Organization. I can also get into more details at a later stage if you want me to. So that is on this voice for the environment. How is the schedule for the next 6 weeks? As I said, on June 13th, we will all travel to Rio and have the third PrepCom and the last PrepCom. Before that, we have 1 week of negotiations here, based on a new text, which the co-chairs will present on May 22nd, so Tuesday next week. Then we will have a new basis, hopefully much shorter than the one we left behind, hopefully more concise, and then we will hopefully also have the political will and guidance by our leaders, not to try again to hang all our wishes on this Christmas tree of a new text, but being productive enough to agree and to solve the main issues. I do not expect the main issues to be solved here in New York. They will be solved by higher ranking officials traveling to Rio, and as you know, with these negotiations, it always ends up maybe in stopping the clock at the latest night and then agree on something. That is the package that will be made at the very end. But we, of course, very much hope that an appeal, and more than appeal, concrete goals, concrete targets on greening the economy and this World Environmental Organization will be part of this package. So I stop here. I've really taken more time than you have allocated to me. Sorry for that. Happy to elaborate later on in the Q&A session. Thank you very much for your attention.